What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In the last video, you've seen us pick up the cheapest running and driving Nissan R35 GTR in the country. In this video, we're gonna show you everything that's wrong with it. So let's check it out. So when you turn your car on, does it do the same for you? You should totally launch it, bro. So like I said in the intro of this video, this is the cheapest one that was running and driving in the country at the time that I purchased it. And I searched for about a month and a half. And I've been looking at these things on the auctions probably about 3 or 4 years. They used to be cheaper about a year and a half ago, and then with COVID and the price of everything has just done some crazy things. And R35s, they definitely did that. So since this is a 90,000 mile cheapest GTR in the country, obviously the interior shows a little bit of wear. So you can see like right here on the window switches, we got some stuff right there. If you take your nail, you could just give that like a little bit of a scratch. You can see this mirror right here. That's a little bit floppy. The interior shows a little bit of wear, but honestly, it's not that bad. And for 90,000 miles, I don't think I could have bought many other cars that would like fit this bill. I mean, again, I was looking at like Audi RS3s, Golf Rs, and all that stuff was really similar in price. Actually, RS3s are like 50 to 60 or 70 grand. These things are like 60 to 70 grand. And this one was $40,000. But overall, the seats aren't in bad shape. Like there's no tears or anything crazy like that. Obviously, they need cleaned a little bit. And this little stuff right here in the interior, I could go over that and fix that myself, you know, because that's what we do here, is we fix cars. Also, I just found out about that. Should we pop the hood or should we show them the outside? Let's actually walk around the outside and then we'll get into the good stuff that happens to be in the engine bay. This thing is a rebuilt from salvage title. So that means that it was already previously wrecked. And I was watching these things on the auction and there was one about 2 months ago that sold without an engine. It was a 2013 premium. This is 09 premium. It sold for $30,000 without an engine and it looked like it was flooded. Plus, after you get all the taxes, fees, and all that stuff from the auction plus shipping it to you, you'd probably have about $35,000 in that. And then you don't have an engine. You don't know, the ECU, the wiring, all that other type of stuff that goes with that, you're gonna lose all that stuff. This one was wrecked previously. It was actually sold in 2019 for $26,000, and it was basically wrecked right here in the front. Right here, a little bit of a tap is what we're gonna call it, a little tap right here in the front. I think they replaced the hood. This hood vent has, a little bit cracked right there. The gaps in the front aren't the greatest, but I think that if somebody spent more than probably like 10 minutes putting the body panels on this thing, we could probably get the gaps on this thing really good just by like spending an hour adjusting it and maybe moving some washers and stuff around. So the other thing is, since it was kind of a cheaper repair job, is that the whole car was essentially repainted. As you guys know, if you've been watching the channel for a while, I really like doing my own paint work. I don't like wrapping stuff. This is something that I'm good at. We just recently got a paint booth here in the new shop, so I would like to do some cool stuff to the front of this thing, probably starting with a 2017 front bumper, headlights, hood, and some other stuff to actually make this thing look like a new GTR. So right here, we have some paint chips on the front bumper. You can see, it's weird, they have like this blue primer. It's almost like if you ordered like a fiberglass body kit, but it's not fiberglass. It's just like the OEM bumper, but it's like they use this like, I don't know, it's like maybe it was like a polyester primer or something, and it's blue. But you can see down here on the bottom, we got this lip. Somebody did some fiberglass repair work to that. There's obviously a crack right here in the bottom. There is pieces of the under tray under there, like it has the full like carbon fiber under tray thing, and all that stuff seems to be in good shape. The front brake rotors don't look too bad. We got some scratches right here in the front. The wheels have some scuffs on them. You can see like right here. One of the other ones, actually this one's in not bad shape. There's a couple other ones on the car that show a little bit of wear. The roof has a carbon fiber wrap. It's like a cheaper looking weave, but it kind of works. They did the same carbon fiber like wrap on the wing, which they did, I guess, kind of an okay job wrapping that, but obviously I want to change some other stuff. It is also missing a side skirt. So the guy that we got it from, if you didn't watch the video of us picking it up, He essentially moved from Pennsylvania to Colorado about 7 months ago, and he was just in the middle of nowhere. So he lived down this like mile-long dirt road that had tons of washboard and all kinds of other stuff. And I guess the car ended up kind of sitting outside for a while because he's kind of a mechanic and was doing some work in his shop there. So I think sometimes it was outside, sometimes it was inside. Where it was located, it gets down to like -15 degrees like all the time. It's basically like 9,000 feet above sea level in like this valley. And it gets really cold there. So this poor thing, we saved it. We brought it out from there. But yeah, I think driving down that road, it rattled off the side skirt. So it's missing the side skirt. So I don't know if you guys could see in the camera. So since this car was completely repainted, you could see a little bit of like modeling in the metallic of the paint. So essentially when they resprayed this whole entire car, when they were spraying it, their paint gun was either like kind of spitting or they didn't like pull back and like actually kind of blend the metallic to let it like all lay down evenly. It kind of looks blotchy. I think the plans are to actually respray this thing or wrap it or just kind of drive it. You know, like one of the things about getting a car like this is, yes, I could have went and got a perfect one that was $110,000 or $120,000 for like a brand new one. But that's not who I am. I would be scared to drive that. I'd be scared to put miles on it. This one already has miles on it. It already has dings and dents and little things overall, but it's still a very good looking car. So moving on to the back right here, you can see we got a little bit of stuff in the paint right there. It's like they painted over like a rock chip or something. And then like down here, it's like they like didn't feather out the previous paint. Cause this bumper is probably a used bumper off of something else. And this is actually the newer bumper. I know there's like CBA and DBA and like EBA, all kinds of these like technical terms on it. This one is technically, I think, the 2013 and up rear bumper. So you can see it has like this little diffuser thing, but it's actually missing that little like honeycomb grill. I actually just bought that off of eBay. So I have that we need to put in here. It has the Godzilla mode with the ECU, so you can see that it was shooting flames at one point in time, you know, kind of melted this back of the bumper. So I'm glad that it didn't like burn the car down, because then I wouldn't have been able to buy it. Here's another little example of like some of the little paint imperfections, is just kind of right down there, kind of in that corner. The nice thing is that I could actually like drive this thing and not be scared or be mad. Like the Supra, I don't like driving it around because like rock chips and other stuff. Like this thing, it's like, I'll drive it every day. This will be my new daily. So it also had some damage right here in the quarter panel from the auction sheet that I actually found. So I don't know if it was wrapped or if it was painted that color, but it had like this crazy like neo chrome looking paint with these crazy looking wheels. I think they were like 20s or 22s. Kind of an interesting looking car when it was like that. But essentially this back quarter panel was just kind of dented in, and I think they didn't end up replacing it. I think they just ended up pulling it out and doing some body filler on it. So, you know, this mirror needs a little bit of stuff, but let's move on to the engine bay. So in the engine bay right here, we have the 91,000 mile VR38, which is a legendary Nissan engine. And it's crazy because it like actually, it kind of just looks like a 350Z. Like it has, you know, a little bit of rust on some of the bolts. You know, like you could see like right here, like somebody sprayed some degreaser and it kind of took off some of the anodizing on that Cobb blow-off valve. We have a Nismo oil cap. It doesn't have the little plate where it says who built it, which is kind of a bummer. I wanted to see who built this thing, because these things are typically, I think, all hand built in Japan. It does have some Cobb intakes. When we first got it, I've had it for about a week now. The air filters on it were just completely dirty and like they look like they wouldn't suck any air anymore. They were just like completely black. So I ordered a set of K&N air filters, installed those last night. Now you could actually hear some of the turbo a little bit more. So it basically has intake, stock intercooler. It has downpipes on it. It has a full 4-inch titanium exhaust. It's a Visconti tuning flex fuel kit. So I'm assuming it has probably like 1,000cc injectors, the flex fuel sensor, plus two, I think AEM fuel pumps in the tank, all controlled by an ECU Tech or an ECU Tech Bluetooth dongle. That's basically, you pull up on your phone and you do some other stuff. There is actually some issues. It has a check engine light that it's popping up with right now, which is a P0011 code, which is essentially something about the timing chain being over advanced or like something with the ignition. But before we take this thing for a drive and show you guys actually how the intake and exhaust and how it actually drives on the road, let's fire it up and let you guys hear this thing. We'll give it some revs, maybe hear the turbos, hear a little bit of, I don't know if it's timing chain stuff, I don't know if it's VCT stuff, whatever it is, but we're gonna fire it up and we're gonna listen to it. Oh look, it has that check engine light. So it says engine system malfunction, visit dealer, service engine soon. So we got a check engine light. If you come right over here, this is that ECU Tech. This is engine DTC, P0011, a camshaft position, timing over advanced or system performance bank 1. And then it has an airbag code on it too. So that's pretty much it. But if we like try to rev it right now, that's what we get. We basically get like a limp mode. And then if we come right here and we go to the DTC tool, should be able to clear that code and it'll just go away. So we give this. Now it rips. So the 4-inch titanium exhaust sounds pretty good, but we might end up changing that. But let's take this thing for a drive. So when you turn your car on, does it do the same for you? Roll down the window a little bit. Hear those nice twin turbos? It like wants to get to 6th gear as fast as it possibly can. Like when you have it in auto, it's like we're in 6th gear and we're like 45 miles an hour. We're at 1500 RPMs and it's like, yeah, 6th gear. You just pull the paddle. Bumpy, but hey, you know, the GTR, it just soaks these bumps right up. This is such a cool road. Like we need to get like time trial thing. There is some houses over here, so like probably certain sections would probably be off limits, but imagine ripping through here. Like this would be sketchy. This thing's so cool. Like now that I've driven it a little bit more, like I feel like I'm like a lot more used to like where the power is and kind of how to make it feel good without having to like completely like wring its neck. Traction control, I think it's the bumps, or maybe the fact that it has like these Lionheart tires on it, so it doesn't have like the greatest of tires. I like it. This road is so cool too. It is so loud. It is so freaking loud. Oh, this road is so cool. It's like a racetrack. Like, like right in our backyard. And I'm driving like a baby too. Like, once I get comfortable with this road, like, this road could be really, like really fast. Like really, really fast if you wanted to. This car's so good. A little bit of throttle here, a little bit of breakage there, but like not even trying to get sketchy or doing anything wild with it. We bought it a week ago. I've been driving it for a week. I love it. I think it's cool. I think it's probably the best like 40 grand I could have spent on a car that like ran and drove, you know? Like it's just, how could you find something like this at this caliber of car for that money? You know, again, like the salvage title, all that stuff, a rebuild from salvage title doesn't really bother me. A bunch of my other cars are rebuilt from salvage. The way I see it is I'm just driving like a half-price GTR. If you guys know me, if you've been following the channel for a while, that's kind of me. Like I like driving around stuff for cheap that other people like spent a lot of money on. So like my truck's half-price truck, this thing's half-price GTR, but I'm gonna make it nice, you know? Like it needs a little bit of work right now, we're gonna make it nice. And that's where we get into our plans. So we're gonna pull this thing back in the shop to go over a quick little overview of what I think that I would like to do to this thing next. So, the drive went great. Everything felt really good. So I already got some new side skirts for the side, the newer updated side skirts, which are like, I think the 2017 and up side skirts. In the front over here, obviously like we have the older style headlights. They're kind of like the charcoal looking thing, but on the newer 2015 up style headlights, they have this like cool little like S looking like lightning bolt. Also on the 09 and I think 2009 and 2010, they did not have the little LED daytime running light right there on that bottom. At minimum, I'd like to get one of those bumpers on here with the daytime running light, but I think overall, the ultimate would be 2017 front bumper, the 2015 up headlights, and the 2017 hood because it has a more pronounced body line right here. This hood isn't like the most perfect one too. Obviously, it's got the crack right here. I think at a minimum, the car either needs a full wrap. It's cheaper for me to paint something than it is to wrap it. So like, if I was gonna pay, like the material cost on wrap is probably about as much if not more, than it would cost me to paint this thing. Since we already know how to paint, we got a paint booth, might as well paint it. I like the way paint looks. It's a little bit more, you know, durable, whatever you want to call it. Paint just hits a little bit different. So maybe we'll do a Trevi's custom color on this thing. Overall, I'm just stoked to finally have a GTR and actually be able to drive something around like this. Instead of driving around, you know, like a $3,000 Saab, I feel like a whole new man driving around a GTR. I feel like this car definitely fits me. And it's not like I went to the, you know, the showroom and I bought like a 2021 for like 100 and I don't even think you could get them for, like MSRP on a new one is 120, but you can't even get them for that. They're like over 200 now because of the, like the dealer markups, plus that you can't get them and the car market is just crazy right now. Let me know what you guys think of this GTR. I'm really stoked about it. We're gonna have it around for a while. We're gonna get working on the R32 GTR here in a little bit. This one will be a little bit of a project kind of sprinkled in here and there. That'll be the main project, but I appreciate you guys watching. Hit that thumbs up. We'll see you later.